to the right now, you see it? Gaza something.
What you say? Not guilty. The Worl'Boss, not guilty. No. Oh, I won't.
See, but we don't know what I'm going on. So today last day for you guys.
Hey, Mom, waiting for Kartel case.
Well, it's bad so far, but he's not guilty, so they should let him go.
Alright, so what if he say not guilty?
You're not guilty.
Yeah. So, if you come out with straight now.
Yeah.
So, the evidence was tampered with, and it was proven that police had admitted 3 hours after the phone was in custody. So, what do you think about that?
I really don't know, sir.
Many people in today's society only look at things one way. In the Vybz Kartel murder trial, you have to look at things two ways, or else you'll be stuck in the 18th century. I'm going to take you back to September 30, 2011. Vybz Kartel, along with his co-accused, was arrested in a popularly known Kingston hotel. His phone, along with his co-accused ones, were taken away from him at the hotel. Well, at the start of the trial, I've come to learn that while the phone was in the custody of the police, a text message was sent 3 hours after Vybz Kartel arrest that Lizard was chopped up fine. How could the police, the one that is supposed to protect us, can be so cruel and send that text message about Lizard was chopped up fine? It was proven that the phone was made to use several calls and also send other text messages. I'm not saying that Vybz Kartel is a sin, but seriously, the police had no right to do that. I believe that Vybz Kartel should have get a fair trial. When Clive Lizard Williams' sister testified, she said that she and Lizard had a good relationship, and that from August 16, 2011, she hadn't heard from her brother back then. Yes, I know that sounds a little weird, but Clive Williams could maybe be dead or maybe he isn't, but if she cannot hear from him, yes, that's gonna have a lot of people confused. But then again, no one knows if she's really telling the truth. She said she gave him $3,000 to leave the country, plus she also admitted that her brother Clive Lizard Williams was also on a gun charge before the court. Clive Lizard Williams was no saint, and Vybz Kartel wasn't either. They both lacked guns. Lizard probably fled the country because he didn't want to be convicted of a gun charge. The girlfriend also testified that she was texting Lizard at 7:30 p.m. and then Clive Lizard Williams stopped texting at 8 o'clock. When she was testifying, she didn't say as to which what Lizard was saying. She didn't mention about Lizard texting him, but Vybz Kartel wanted to kill him. Samar Cho, the main witness in the Vybz Kartel murder trial, he also testified that Sean Storm forced him and Clive Lizard Williams to go to Vybz Kartel house. He ascertained Cho that nothing would happen to him because he didn't have nothing to do with it. He said when he reached the Vybz Kartel Avondale premises, there was a street light on and over in his yard was really dark. You could barely identify some of the accused men's faces, and there was a phone flashlight on. He said while in the house, he just saw Andre St. John and Kyle Jones push Lizard on the floor. He said he ran inside the room and Vybz Kartel and Sean Sam chased him inside the room and pushed the door. Vybz Kartel put his hand over his neck and ascertained that everything will be okay. So Vybz Kartel along with Sean Sam accompanied him back into the room. He said when he reached into the room, he saw Andre St. John with a block in his hand and Kyra Jones standing over Lizard. He didn't testify that Lizard was crying or moaning. The way he testified, it didn't sound like it took more than 5 minutes. How could they possibly kill Clive Lizard Williams in less than 5 minutes? During the case, I've been hearing that he's been chopped up. I've been hearing that he has been beaten. I've been hearing that he was killed by a block. I don't know which to believe. I mean, if either of this is true, Why didn't he say that he heard Lizard crying or moaning? Like, come on. A death like that is very painful. If I fell and I get a little bruise, I'll cry or even moan because, yes, it hurts. Anyway, he said when he saw that, he ran outside and he jumped Vybz Kartel gate. I heard that the gate is about 8 feet. He said Vybz Kartel chased him and he was running. Vybz Kartel told him that a pit bull dog bite him. So he found a taxi and accompanied Vybz Kartel to the hospital for 3 hours. He even stayed there with Vybz Kartel. The witness didn't testify that he sustained injuries from jumping the gate. I mean, if a man is trying to kill you and a man kill your friend and he was bitten by a dog, why would you follow him to the hospital? Wouldn't that be weird? And you just run for your life? Why didn't he testify that he got checked up at the hospital himself because he jumped the gate to see if he sustained no broken bone or injuries? He was supposed to be happy because that gate is really big and for it to jump it, that sounds really weird, but they said when trouble take you, fitness shirt take you. But then again, the prosecution phone records put Vybz Kartel along with Clive Lizard Williams in separate locations and time phrases. Vybz Kartel was at the hospital when Clive Lizard Williams was in Portmore. When Vybz Kartel left the hospital, Clive Lizard Williams was still in Portmore. Someone testified that they were talking to Vybz Kartel between the time frame of 7:50 to 7:55. At those times, Clive Williams was still at Portmore. They said Clive Williams was killed at 8 o'clock and at 8 Carter was in the hospital. How could Vybz Kartel possibly kill Lizard? Another police officer testified and when he did, he said some text messages out of context. I mean, the text messages that said, how much you do with Lizzie? The police read the text is wrong and put it out of context. Let it sound like they was asking how much to do with Clive Williams. But it was later proven that Lizzie was the nickname of Sean Storm's daughter. And when that was said, Sean Storm was texting his baby mother to ask how much to do with his daughter's school stuff to go back to school. But the text messages, the police never intended to correct them unless the defense never interfered. Detective Linton also testified that the phone was used various times. He was the one who testified that it was used in police custody. He also admitted that he made 10 mistakes while extracting the text messages from the phone. He was also proven that he carried grudge of Vybz Kartel from 2011. He commented on a picture of Vybz Kartel on Facebook with a girl. Vybz Kartel was sitting on the bed and a girl was sitting in his lap. The bed wasn't spread up and the police commented that it's not even spread up with the hypocrisy. So the defense is saying that the police is carrying grudge from Vybz Kartel from 2011 and will do anything to mix up the messages and change around anything. The police even admitted that the evidence was tampered with. I repeat, Linton admitted that the evidence was tampered with and manipulated. The prosecution should have been fair. He knows some of the text messages was tampered with. He left so many unanswered questions in this trial. The sister testified that he got 40 phones from the police to check up and none of them was attributed to Vybz Kartel or any of his accused. He said he had this two and this one. They entered both this into evidence, but they lost it to this two. This two was showed in court. Text messages and voice notes was on them, and videos also. But this two was to use and verify this one that yes, those messages were sent, but this two was lost. So that's another unanswered question. How could they lost to this? But they said that they gave the list to a prosecutor that later died. If that was the case, that this one shouldn't have been entered into evidence in the first place. Because without these two, nobody really knows if those text messages were sent. But because I know that Jamaica really hate Vybz Kartel and the prosecutor really wanted to prosecute Vybz Kartel with his accused, they'll try their best to get those evidence admitted. A handwriting expert worked with the prosecutor last year, so the prosecutor know that that handwriting expert is real and legit. That handwriting expert testified for the defense this year, though. He testified that the letter was written by Lamar Cho. He said he compared various signatures along with the one on the letter and there was a match. He also compared the writings and there was a match. But the prosecutor is arguing that the man that testified wasn't so intelligent as the person who wrote the letter. The person said that the reason why he didn't want to come to court is because he saw Clive Fitzgerald Williams alive after the August 16, 2011 alleged murder. That he said that he saw Clive Fitzgerald Williams motionless on the floor. He said he saw him alive after that. And the police forced him to give a statement and brought him to the station. At that time, he apprehended fear. So the prosecutor is saying those big words that was used in the letter couldn't be the man that testified because he didn't sound so intelligent. You cannot swear for anybody. I'm not saying that he wrote it. I'm not saying that he didn't. But come on, there's a dictionary. People can use a dictionary. They could even get help. I remember National Security Peter Bunting also said that Jamaica has four problems and Vybz Kartel was one. He even took the man's song to America to play it, this coming song that he did with Gaza Slim, and tell them that Vybz Kartel is the cause of scamming. I know many people in Jamaica hate Vybz Kartel and the bigger edge. Like example, the bigger edge is A and the second bigger edge is B. So A give B orders and B has to follow because yes, they're the bigger boss. So I know Vybz Kartel case was a big conspiracy. Even if Vybz Kartel was really guilty, the police made it look like he wasn't because if there was strong legit evidence, why would they even tamper with what they had in the first place? In the video evidence that was played, no faces were shown, only voices. And yes, voices can be altered, so that that's not even concrete evidence. The video said that holding them when me cut him throat. No faces were shown either. I didn't think Vybz Kartel got a fair trial.